Hello, I'm Dave from DinoPC and this is our Raptor. You may remember this video here. Gigabyte gave us a motherboard and said build a PC. We liked it so much, we turned it into our Raptor. So, what is the Raptor 2? Well, we have our series of computers listed on our website called the Carnivore range. The Carnivore range is designed to be the ultimate in gaming experience for you guys. Price, no option. This bad boy costs £4,000. In this range we have things like the Trudon. This is our least most powerful gaming PC in the Carnivore range, although saying that is like saying the Castle Bravo nuclear bomb isn't quite as powerful as the Tsar bomb. At the top end of the scale, we have got the T-Rex, the most powerful and insane computer we make, which is designed for enthusiasts of the most absurd kind. Price is absolutely no option with that one. And in the middle we have this, my favorite gaming PC that we currently make here at DinoPC. This is the Raptor, and it just got an update. It is now Raptor 2.0. But I'm sure you guys want to know exactly what's inside it. What makes it tick, and why are these things good for gaming? Well, luckily, I'm here to explain. At the heart of this beating beast, we have got the Intel i7-6700K. The reason why we picked this quad-core CPU is that not only is it quad-core, but it's also hyper-threaded. And now you guys are going to, of course, ask me, what does hyper-threading mean? Hyper-threading essentially splits a single core into two logical cores. So you have a total of up to 8 logical cores, or 4 physical cores in this bad boy. While the logical cores can only be used in multi-threaded tasks such as Adobe Photoshop, Premiere Pro, or Sony Vegas, multiple rendering applications, that sort of thing, it's still a very useful feature to have, especially on a high-end build. Meanwhile, if you were to play games like Far Cry or Tomb Raider or most other games, you'll only be using the 4 physical cores and they won't be threading. The Z170 chipset Skylake CPU that's in this bad boy will only use 4 cores while gaming, which is perfect because it means you've got the 4 cores for gaming, which is considered to be the ideal amount currently. But if you wanted to use multi-threaded applications, as I said, mentioning before, Photoshop and Illustrator and all those other kind of editing programs, you've still got the power that hyper-threading offers you, which makes it a perfect compromise. Using an X99 chipset would indeed increase the cost, but more importantly, for gaming, 6, 8, 10 cores aren't necessarily better than 4 cores. The 4 cores can clock to a higher frequency, meaning you actually get more usable power. This has also got full custom water cooling in it. When we talk about full custom water cooling, what we mean is at least the CPU and the graphics cards are water cooled. Anything more than this, and it's still called full water cooling. In this particular build, we used EK parts, and we'll discuss why we use EK a lot in another video. Meanwhile, let's get on with the rest of the build. This bad boy, in terms of RAM, is supporting 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance RAM, which is running at 3,200 megahertz of frequency. RAM is a type of volatile memory source. This means when there is no power connected, it simply doesn't store data. When power is connected, however, it stores extraordinarily fast different types of applications, data, and interfaces. The next step up from this would be 32 gigabytes of RAM, traditionally speaking, and the only reason why you would seem to do that such a thing at the moment on this kind of machine is to basically have bragging rights over your friends or family. So what about those liquid-cooled graphics cards? What are you getting for your money? Well, the most ultimate gaming PC that I think we have got can only have one type of graphics card in there, and that is the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080. The main thing you need to know about graphics cards generally is its frequency. Normally, you get around 1,750 megahertz from the GeForce GTX 1080s, or at least that's what is listed online. However, we have boost clocked these all the way up to 2,100 megahertz, roughly. I say roughly because, of course, there is the silicone lottery. And the reason why I say roughly is because every GPU is different. To maximize profit, chip manufacturers test and sort chips based on certain criteria, power draw at key frequencies, salvageable defects, to decide which chip best fits in. This process is called binning, and it's designed to test the wheat from the chaff and basically get you the best bang for your buck. But there are better bangs for your buck, and unfortunately this is where the silicone lottery comes in. Some GPUs perform better than others. The 1080 has been known to go to 2300 megahertz and beyond in terms of its core frequency. But in 1080s, typically anything over 1900 megahertz means that you generally have a very good chip. It just so happens that in this bad boy, we have some very good chips. Obviously, your mileage may indeed vary. If you were to buy this for yourself, for example, you may not be getting those kinds of numbers, but you may also be getting higher. This is unfortunately where the silicone lottery is at its strongest when you buy CPUs or GPUs. And in the case of the Raptor 2, we don't just have one, but we have two GeForce 1080s working in tandem in SLI. At the moment, we don't have the high bandwidth connector present, but we will do soon. And that's why I'm going to tell you that one of our next videos next week is going to be benchmarking this. Completely fairly, you're going to be able to see all of the frame rates for everything, gameplay footage of me playing on this bad boy and seeing the temperatures and absolutely everything that this can chuck out. Not even I currently know exactly what we're going to be getting, but I know that it's going to be good. And of course, all the tests are going to be done at 4K, because why not? This thing will absolutely monster 4K. So, what about storage? As its primary hard drive in this, we have a Samsung 256 Gigabyte M.2 SSD, and it is the Pro variant. To the average man, an SSD is simply a faster hard drive. But here at DinoPC, we're going to explain exactly what an SSD is. An SSD is a non-volatile memory source, which means that even if it's not powered, it still retains its data. This is the complete opposite of RAM, which is a volatile memory source. Solid-state drives are called solid-state drives because they actually have no moving parts, unlike a traditional hard drive. Instead, the data is served to a pool of NAND flash. NAND itself is made up of what are called floating gate transistors. One of the limitations that do come with using an SSD rather than a traditional hard drive is that the data is very fast to write to an empty drive. Overwriting data, however, is much slower and requires a slightly different process, which happens internally. In this monster, we are using the M.2 format. It's a new interface of SSD, and in this case, doesn't run off SATA. SATA has a maximum write speed of around 600 megabytes per second, whereas the M.2 drive runs off the PCIe lanes, which means you can get up to 4 gigabytes per second read speed. Now, while you're not going to be seeing that kind of performance, the option for it is indeed there. The capabilities are there. The theoretical max of it is 4 gigabytes. You'll be getting around 1.5 to 1.6 gigabytes depending on your SSD. It varies. Backing up that 256 gigabyte M.2 SSD, we have got a 2 terabyte black WD hard drive. So why have we used black drives? Well, black drives are designed to be used by enthusiasts and professionals. Photo editing, video editing, and indeed gaming are all better on a black drive. Trickled down from their enterprise drives, the black drive incorporates some of the technologies of the more higher end server drives that places like Google and Facebook use. So what about the motherboard? The G1 Gaming Z170X Gaming Ultra is what we have used here. Gigabyte were kindly enough to give us this board to make the prototype, and well, you can see the entire thing here. If you want to know exactly what is going on with the motherboard, you can click here and this will tell you about it. A brief overview is that it packs in quite a lot of high-end features, usually reserved for X99, including the option to connect up to 3 NVMe SSDs in RAID 0 for an insanely fast and up to 3.5 gigabytes per second write speed. Sequential reads, Thunderbolt 3 ports, USB Type-Cs. There's also 2 PWM water-cooled headers, which is perfectly suited for the Raptor 2, as of course we are water cooling. The all blacked out motherboard means that there's no color clashing with the rest of it, which we wanted to make this thing look insanely evil, which I think we have managed to do in a very nice way. The inside matches the outside. Black at heart, black on the covers. Of course, we are indeed using Windows 10. The reason why we are using Windows 10 isn't just because it is the newest offering from Windows. The reason why is because it uses far less CPU usage, with about 0.2 to 0.5% of the i7-6700K that we're putting in this thing is being used to keep Windows at idle. As well as that, it only uses a tiny amount of RAM compared to Windows 8 and Windows 7, which is brilliant. This frees up your hardware to do other things, for example, gaming. So what about the case of this evil beast? We have gone for a modified Phanteks EVOLV ATX case. This one in particular has tempered glass on the side, although you can't really see it right now, but there is tempered glass. I've just taken it off to show you the lovely insides. Picking a case that both encompasses great design and space with adequate water cooling ability was tough, but we finally ended up picking this. And of course we have wrapped it in our leathery DINO hide that you can see on the rest of our carnivore range. Speaking out of turn just for a moment of the rest of the video, I have changed my mind. I am not using the Corsair Spec Alpha for my next build for my personal rig. I'm going to get myself one of these things and ask if we can get the wrap in white and make a white version of a kind of toned down Raptor 2 for my next PC. If you want to see that, make sure you click the like button of me building such a monstrosity. Finally, we come to the power supply. The power supply in this case is a Corsair RM 750 watt 80 plus gold standard PSU. Just because the power supply states that it is a certain amount of wattage doesn't necessarily mean that's what it's going to give, which is why Corsair, of course, entered the RM750 into the 80 plus voluntary certification program, which basically means that you get more power than stuff that isn't certified. Well, not really. Let me explain. The 80 plus voluntary certification program basically is to promote efficiency and energy in the use of power supplies. It says that if it is rated with 80 plus standard, then it has more than 80% efficiency at 20%, 50% and 100% of its rated load. This basically means you're making sure that you're not getting scammed. You're getting more of the power that is written on the side of the actual power supply, rather than, let's say, buying a 750 watt and then it going up to like 450 watts under load and then just conking out because it can't take it. This ensures that, of course, you're getting more power for your money. And apart from our 5-year warranty that we also add with this product, that's basically it. That's an overview of most of the stuff we use in here. I'm aware, of course, I haven't gone over the fans, which are from EK, or the radiator, which is also from EK, or the water blocks, which is also from EK. Or the braided cables, or exactly how we go about vinyl wrapping. But this is something I want to show you guys in another video in the future, why we pick EK, why we wrap our higher end PCs, and why braided cables look so much nicer than your standard cables. But let me know, guys, do you like the Raptor 2? Is it something that you would buy personally? Is it something you can't afford? Would you like to see a stripped down Raptor 2 build so that you can get your very own Raptor at home? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.